Hello, this is Ruth Hollingshead, trustee for Site for Wight, welcoming you to this week's Talking News.
Site for Wight Talking News for Friday the 31st of July 2020.
Alison reading from the Island Echo. Dial 999 plea after 2 men swept out to sea at Ventnor. Coastguards on the Isle of Wight are reminding islanders and tourists alike to dial 999 and ask for the Coast Guard following an incident in Ventnor yesterday, Thursday, in which only one person alerted the emergency services. Ventnor Coast Guard Rescue Team, CRT, and Bembridge CRT were mobilised to Ventnor Esplanade at 15:21, following reports of 2 persons in difficulty and calling for help off the beach. It didn't take long for Coast Guard rescue officers to arrive on scene and locate the first informant, who explained what they had seen and heard. Sandown and Shanklin Independent Lifeboat was requested to launch, and a search along the shore from land swiftly got underway. 2 individuals soon made themselves known to the search teams and confirmed it was them who had called out for help. The duo had been swept out to sea and along the coast slightly, but luckily managed to make it ashore. Although the beach was extremely busy, Solent Coast Guard received just one single 999 call reporting the cries for help and the developing situation. This has surprised members of Ventnor Coast Guard Rescue Team, who are now urging beachgoers to dial 999 and ask for the Coast Guard immediately if you hear or see someone who may be in difficulty. With the casualties confirmed as safe and well, both Coast Guard rescue teams were immediately redeployed to Shanklin Esplanade to assist with a cardiac arrest on the beach. If you or someone else is in difficulty on the coast or at sea, or if you spot what you think may be unexploded ordnance, then dial 999 and ask for the Coast Guard. Further safety information can be found at coastguardsafety.campaign.gov.uk/.
This is Brian reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press. Isle of Wight to get 9 new police officers. The Isle of Wight is to get 9 new police officers. The allocation of the 156 new police officers who will join Hampshire Constabulary as part of the government's announced uplift programme has been confirmed. It is based on analysis of crime figures and the demand in each of our districts, and the island will get 9. A spokesperson said, "We are determined that the constabulary truly reflects the communities we serve, and throughout the application process we have been seeking quality candidates as well as greater diversity. As a force, we operate a borderless policy which ensures officers can be deployed away from their assigned location if it is deemed operationally necessary. Each of the areas is also supported by a number of other teams within the force, including our response officers, investigations teams, and our various specialist departments. Areas getting fewer officers are Hart 4, Rushmore 5, Eastleigh 7, Fareham 4, Gosport 5, Havant 8, New Forest 8, East Hants 4, Test Valley 5 and Winchester 5. Basingstoke will also get 9 officers, while Portsmouth will get 18 and Southampton 20.
This is Den reading from the Isle of Wight Observer. After more than 80 years of service, Island Line's trains ready to retire. South Western Railway is looking for new homes for its soon-to-be retired Island Line fleet. The 5 Class 483 trains, built in 1938 for the London Underground, have been serving the Isle of Wight since 1989. However, as announced in September 2019, following a £26 million investment to secure the future of Island Line, the current fleet is due to be replaced by the Class 484 trains. South Western Railway is looking for new homes for the trains as soon as possible, to make room for the arrival of the first Class 484s for testing this year. South Western Railway has already received several expressions of interest from preservation groups, including the neighbouring Isle of Wight Steam Railway. Organisations interested in adopting a soon-to-be former Island Line train will need to demonstrate the capacity and financial security to remove and look after the train, as well as a suitable long-term physical location for the train. They may also need to prepare a plan to manage potentially hazardous substances where these remain on the units, which will need to meet the satisfaction of the Office and Rail and Road and other statutory bodies. The trains are also subject to a statutory designation notice, following the decision of the Board of Trustees of the Science Museum on the 4th of March 2020. Prior to ownership transferring, SWR would need to ensure the future plans for some or all of the vehicles were acceptable to the Board of Trustees. The trains are in varying states of repair, with 2 of them having been used largely for spares in recent years. Mark Hopwood, Managing Director for South Western Railway, said, "The Class 483 trains have been running for 82 years, serving passengers first on the London Underground and most recently on the Isle of Wight. Despite their age, our team at Ryde St John Depot has worked miracles keeping these trains going to provide a vital service for the island."
This is Howard reading an article from the Isle of Wight County Press regarding an earphones warning. A mother is warning people about the dangers of wearing earphones after her son nearly lost his life after stepping out in front of a car. Harrison Ellis, 16, is bravely putting his story into the spotlight, and his family say he's lucky to be alive after sustaining horrific injuries in the collision on Sundown Road Lake on June 25th. He suffered extensive injuries to his elbow, wrists, shoulder, face and head, and was placed in intensive care. His mother, Lindsay, said, "What I hope to achieve is for people to be more aware of what's around them, for people to start maybe using headphones that go above the ear so they can still hear environmental sounds." She said, "Phones should be firmly away when walking as when driving." CCTV apparently shows how quickly Harrison's life could have been swept away. We were lucky, but others recently haven't been. I urge people to think headphones off, phones away. Harrison of Shanklin, who is off to Platform 1 Music College in September, had gone out to meet friends after 3 months of lockdown. Lindsay said it was the hottest day of the year so far, so of course he was wearing a hoodie with the hood up. He stepped into the road between cars, apparently his usual crossing place, but he was reading a text message and had music playing. Totally unaware, he stepped out beyond the parked cars straight into oncoming traffic. He owes his life to the driver, who was sticking to the speed limit, and is a nurse at St Mary's, so was able to give quality first aid. He suffered a 3-inch hole in his head that went all the way to the bone, but miraculously no fracture or brain damage. He had glass in the back of his shoulder, a ripped-up elbow, a broken clavicle. I wouldn't wish our experience on any family. We're lucky he's alive. Isle of Wight police confirmed the driver was not at fault. She'd been driving within the speed limit. A spokesperson said, "Pedestrians are equally responsible for following the highway code, and this is a plea to all teenagers to not use mobile phones or headphones while crossing the road. We desperately don't want to be dealing with serious injury matters like this, which can be so avoidable, and want all drivers and road users to be safe and considerate on our roads."
This is Sue reading an article from the Isle of Wight Observer. Support to continue for thousands of shielded islanders, posted on the 1st of August. Shielding will officially pause on the 1st of August, but there will still be help at hand for thousands of vulnerable islanders who need assistance with a transition to begin arranging their shopping, medical prescriptions or social support. The Isle of Wight Council has pledged to continue its working in supporting around 6,000 residents who are currently shielded or isolated, so they can begin the transition to become self-dependent again with confidence. For those residents where there is a genuine ongoing support need and no alternative available to them, the Council will continue to work with the individual to find the appropriate support service to assist them. Since the government made the announcement last month that people would no longer be advised to shield from the 1st of August, staff and volunteers have been busy contacting those affected to discuss their ongoing support needs and preparations. Council leader Dave Stewart said, "Many of these people may be known to us as neighbours, friends and family, and will need all our support to regain confidence as they transition back to a greater level of independency." Many will have been shielded for some 4 months without close contact with friends and family, so it will be a big step. We are continuing our support for anyone who is stopping shielding in the coming weeks. Do get in touch with us if you need help with arranging food, shopping, prescription collections, or if you are feeling anxious, and we will endeavour to help. Councillor Stewart said the Council was committed to retaining its helpline 01983 823 600 for the immediate future and would still be offering support in all forms while people are readjusting to the changes. Just over 550 emergency food parcels have been delivered to vulnerable islanders during the pandemic, as well as the regular shopping arrangements that have been put in place with the assistance of local community groups and volunteers. More than 730 welfare checks have been undertaken to ensure people are safe, and in total 23,237 check-in calls to people to provide them with regular contact and to check on their needs. The support is greatly appreciated, as evidenced in hundreds of heartfelt messages of thanks and gratitude that inundate the service each week. However, with the relaxation of lockdown restrictions, the Council will need to review the current emergency response provisions, but with the ability to step up should a second wave occur. Councillor Stewart added, "Throughout the crisis, our fantastic community hubs and teams have worked hard to help vulnerable residents with shopping, delivering medication and providing regular check-in calls. Alongside our health and care colleagues, the community teams, who are both volunteers and redeployed council staff, have played a critical role. Our teams will be helping people get back out in the community, and we still have hundreds of wonderful volunteers who are willing to help where there is a need. Together we can ensure those most in need continue to get the support they require."
Hello, this is Steve reading a story from the Isle of Wight County Press, headlined "Wight Link's Fast Cats resumed yesterday, that's Friday, July the 31st. There will be an hourly round-trip service from Portsmouth between 6:15am and 8:20 in the evening on weekdays, and 7:15am and 8:20 in the evening on Saturdays and Sundays. Passenger numbers are capped and capacity is reduced to allow for social distancing. Wight Link says the catamarans, which link Ryde Pier Head and Portsmouth, are being cleaned to high standards and hand sanitisers are available. It comes as South Western Railway reports problems and a reduced service along Ryde Pier. Before you travel, what do you need to know? Customers and staff must wear face coverings in the passenger areas on board and inside the terminals. You will need to pay for travel and parking by card or mobile device. Buy tickets at the ports using ticket vending machines and online. Ticket offices will not be open to start with. The Ryde Pier barrier charge will be suspended until the end of August. Wight Link Chief Executive Keith Greenfield said, "Although passenger numbers remain low, they are gradually rising, and we believe it is the right time to bring back the service. Reintroducing Fast Cats will support Ryde's economy and seasonal businesses by encouraging more day trip visitors." Wight Link has been awarded the We're Good to Go mark by Visit Britain. It shows the company complies with all government and public health guidance and has carried out the necessary risk assessments. From today, the agreement between Wight Link, Red Funnel and Hover Travel to accept foot passenger tickets on each other's services will end.
Alison, reading from the Isle of Wight Observer. Main outpatient clinics restart at St Mary's Hospital. From Monday the 3rd of August, outpatients clinics will resume within the main outpatients department at St Mary's Hospital. Main outpatients is still located in the North Hospital. However, some changes have been made and extra safety measures have been introduced to keep patients and staff as safe as possible. Access to the main outpatient department is now via a new entrance, which is located off the North Car Park, where there will be a pick-up and drop-off area. The new entrance has a one-way system in place, with a separate exit to ensure social distancing measures can be maintained. Hand washing facilities and hand sanitizer is available on arrival and in all waiting areas. Screens are in place at the reception desk to give added protection, and the area will undergo enhanced cleaning. Changes have been made to the seating within the main waiting area and sub-wait areas to ensure patients are sat at least 2 metres apart. Joe Smith, Chief Operating Officer, said, "We are really pleased to be able to get main outpatient clinics up and running again, and we know it is going to feel a bit different for everyone, including our staff. So we really appreciate everyone's understanding while we work hard to get our clinics running smoothly. The measures we have put in place are absolutely necessary to help keep us all safe, and it is really important that everyone follows the guidance so that we can reduce the risk of transmission of the virus. We are keeping the number of people passing through the main hospital building to an absolute minimum, so access to main outpatients will only be via the new entrance. When attending your appointment, bring a face covering with you, which should be worn at all times in line with national guidance. Wash or sanitize your hands on arrival and when leaving the building. Arrive no earlier than 10 minutes before your appointment time. Report to main outpatients reception as normal. Attend unaccompanied unless a chaperone is required. If you or anyone in your household has experienced symptoms of coronavirus in the last 14 days, please do not attend your appointment. If you are unsure, please phone the number on your appointment letter. Video consultations such as Attend Anywhere, which is a secure video call service for patients with pre-arranged appointment times, are being held where possible to enable clinical staff to have face-to-face contact with patients without them having to leave their homes.
This is an article from the Isle of Wight County Press, read by Terry. MP Bob Seeley asks government for tailored support for coach tour industry. The case for getting Isle of Wight coach travel back up and running has been made by Isle of Wight MP Bob Seeley. The issue specific to the coach tour industry was first highlighted in an exclusive front page story in the county press following an interview with Isle of Wight Tours. In a letter to Transport Secretary Grant Shapps, Mr Seeley has asked for support for the UK coach travel and tourism industry. Mr Seeley highlighted the contribution that the coach travel industry makes to the UK and Isle of Wight visitor economy and asked for a tailored support package to assist them to recommence their operations. Drawing on input from the coach industry, including from Shirley Wynne, Managing Director of Isle of Wight Tours, Mr Seeley asked specifically for separate guidance for the coach industry, which he said was more akin to guidance produced for aircraft flights than buses, where all passengers embark and disembark at the same time, making it easier to manage infection control measures. He said, New guidance specific to the coach industry will help ensure the future viability of this industry. Without this, many coach operators will struggle to continue, and this will have knock-on effects for our attractions, hotels, and the wider hospitality and tourism industry that the coach industry serves. Mr. Seeley asked for clarification over the current restrictions on gatherings of more than 30 people and whether this applied to coach travel, which could make journeys unviable.
This is Den reading from On the Wight. Hundreds of young oysters reintroduced to the Solent in a step towards recovery of this important species. Wight Link has partnered with the Blue Marine Foundation, Blue, to place cages containing hundreds of young oysters into the Lymington River as part of its initiative to reintroduce the shellfish to the Solent. Wight Link's chief executive, Keith Greenfield, says, "Oysters are very effective in improving water quality and removing pollutants. Just one of them can filter up to 200 litres of water a day. We share the Foundation's aim to restore 5 million oysters to the Solent, to re-establish a controlled fishery, and are following its programme with interest." Broodstock oysters. Blue's team have placed cages of mature broodstock oysters in the Lymington River as part of Wight Link's port. They will release millions of larvae into the Solent. The Foundation's oyster cages have been shown to provide a refuge for other marine life, with 97 different species having been found living inside them elsewhere so far, including critically endangered European eels, juvenile spiny seahorse and sea bass. Keen Hammerson. Another step towards recovery of important species. Jacob Keen Hammerson, Solent Project Manager at Blue, says, "We are delighted to be working with Wight Link on the Solent Oyster Restoration Project with the introduction of a new broodstock cage site at the Lymington Ferry Terminal. Housing oysters here in the west of the Solent is another step towards the recovery of this important species." Wight Link's Green Agenda. Supporting the Blue Marine Foundation is part of Wight Link's Green Agenda, which began with the arrival of its hybrid energy flagship, Victoria of Wight. The ferry company is also emphasising recycling, cutting emissions by promoting electric vehicles through installing charging points at ports. It has also pioneered selling locally produced food and drink in its Wight Taste outlets.
This is Howard reading an article from the Isle of Wight Observer about COVID-19 action cards. A series of quick reference action cards is now available for hotels, campsites, tourist attractions, shops, restaurants, and other Isle of Wight workplaces to use in the event of a coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak. The cards provide key steps to help people quickly identify, report, and respond to one or more confirmed cases of COVID-19 in their business setting or organisation. Simon Bryant, the island's Director of Public Health, said the action cards have been developed to cover a range of individual settings to provide specific advice on the issues each type of organisation may face now lockdown restrictions have been eased. They complement existing outbreak control guidance and signpost to other useful information to help business owners and managers fully understand their responsibilities in the event of an outbreak of COVID-19. 16 cards have been released in the initial tranche, with more planned in the future. The action cards are designed to be printed or downloaded to keep on hand. They provide details of how and who people should contact if they suspect a coronavirus outbreak in their workplace or setting. In addition, they give clear guidance on how individual settings can help prevent the infection by applying existing guidance on social distancing, sticking to the risk-assessed safe working advice, cleaning hands regularly, disinfecting objects, surfaces and common touch points, and cohorting the workforce and minimizing contacts outside of the household. Council leader, Councillor Dave Stewart, said high-quality, timely infection prevention and control advice is critical to help prevent the spread and contain the virus. These cards set out how and who should be contacted if there is a suspected COVID-19 outbreak within a number of different settings with clear, bespoke guidance on preventative measures. The action cards will be frequently updated and promoted for individuals, businesses and organisations to download and use. We all have a role to play in preventing the spread of COVID-19. Adherence to government guidelines includes regular hand washing, good respiratory hygiene and social distancing will all help to contain it.
Hello, this is Steve reading a story from the Isle of Wight County Press, headlined Motorcycle Racing Enthusiasts are set to descend on the Isle of Wight in their thousands for a spectacular new event destined to one day rival the Isle of Man TT. The Diamond Races, a new road racing festival featuring 200 mph bikes, will come to the island in October next year. Set to take place on a 12.4 mile long course around the Chale area and on a fast 5 mile stretch along the Military Road, it will be the first time a professional road race has taken place on the Isle of Wight. Developed in partnership with the Isle of Wight Council and experts from the world of motorcycle racing, it will run on a closed roads over the course of 4 days. Spectators will be thrilled, seeing speeds of up to 200 mph on a course that should test the competitors. A circuit that combines fiddly technical corners and really quick sweeping bends, with big long straights in between to ensure the machines can be worked extremely hard. The event will include 2 practice days on the Wednesday and Thursday, followed by the featured time trial races to be staged on a Saturday. Planned as an end-of-season celebration, the event will welcome superbike, supersport and lightweight machines, along with a sidecar demonstration and an electric motorcycle category. In addition to the feature races, there will also be a mass participation event for motorcyclists to take the Diamond Races course, led by renowned road riders, to experience the thrill of road racing on safe, closed and controlled roads. The date for the Diamond Races will be announced following publication of the 2021 British Superbike calendar and held a week after its season traditionally wraps up at Brands Hatch. Organisers see the Isle of Wight as the perfect place for TT. Not only do they want racing to be as family friendly as possible, they want to create a top quality, high octane event that will thrill spectators and become a major global draw. It's quite an ambition to create an event akin to the Isle of Man TT, but it has the expert backing of a team that knows what it takes to achieve that goal. The Diamond Races not only boasts huge names for the motorcycle road racing industry, but also a globally experienced business team with notable digital, motorcycle technology and event management expertise to make the event possible. Of course, organisers will be running the TT under strict Autocycle Union regulations to ensure that safety is paramount. With road safety at the heart of the Diamond Races, organisers will strive to highlight the huge importance of safe road use, with meticulous attention paid to the safety of riders, spectators and officials, while incorporating a strategy to promote road safety on the island. Paul Sanford, the CEO and co-founder of the Diamond Races, is an island resident passionate about motorsport and the driving force behind the Diamond Races. I'm very excited to welcome motorsport fans from across the globe to the beautiful island for what is sure to be an unforgettable weekend of racing action and entertainment for the whole family, he said. The Diamond Races is the culmination of years of hard work, dedication and planning by the whole team, and we are very lucky to have the best of the best involved with its setup. No stone is being left unturned in striving to deliver a spectacular event, which we have every reason to believe will be a regular backstop to the island's tourist season and put it on the international motorcycle road racing map. Isle of Wight Council leader Councillor Dave Stewart said, "We have been working behind the scenes for quite some time now, with event specialists looking into the feasibility of such a race meeting. So we are very excited we can announce another first for the island. This event is sure to thrill local enthusiasts as well as attract visitors from the mainland and indeed Northern Europe. Our emphasis will be on the safety of the event, and I'm pleased the organisers are keen to work with us in the coming weeks and months to promote safe motorcycling on the island. For more details, you can visit www.diamondraces.com.
This is Chris reading a letter to the editor of the Isle of Wight County Press. Making a Mark from Margie Ambrose of East Cowes. May I comment, if belatedly, on David Jake's letter about the COVID pavement markings? I am a 70-something with 2 degrees and a postgraduate diploma, so neither a child nor unintelligent. I am constantly dismayed to the point of tears by the way people behave as if the pandemic is over. I was indoors from March the 1st until last week, having seen this coming as, it would seem, the government did not, but not to save the NHS, of which I was once a proud part, so much as to help defeat the virus for the sake of my children and grandchildren. The vandal from Cowes who scrubbed the markings off the pavement should have been prosecuted. Anything that helps people remember the peril we are all in and to conduct themselves accordingly is fine by me.
This is Brian reading a letter to the editor of the Isle of Wight County Press. Council Angels kept an eye on vulnerable from Melvin Hurst of Ventnor. I have to admit that when the lockdown was first announced and there was much talk about society pulling together and ensuring the most vulnerable should not suffer, I reacted with a measure of scepticism. I've been forced to eat humble pie, however, as the Isle of Wight Council has been true to its word in keeping in touch with those of us who've had a letter from the NHS informing us we are more vulnerable than most, owing to an underlying health condition. I've been called regularly by a council representative checking whether I have sufficient food and medication. Fortunately, I have, but the council emergency number was written on the notepad by my telephone in case I should ever need it, and I have been very pleased to receive the regular call. The calls are now coming to an end, as everyone is far more able to move about and fend for themselves, but I'm sure I'm not the only one contacted who will forever be grateful to those volunteers who've manned the council helpline and assured us someone at least hadn't forgotten us.
This is Sue reading an article from the RNIB Northern Ireland. Audio described exercise sessions. RNIB in Northern Ireland, in partnership with Disability Sports NI, DSNI, are putting together 6 audio described exercise sessions. The first session went live on Friday the 31st of July, starting at 11:30 a.m. via YouTube. The sessions will continue every Friday until the 4th of September, with a new link set up after each session for the following week. The video is of course available to be shared afterwards and can also be found on DSNI's YouTube page. Each session will be a little more energetic and challenging than the last. Please join and enjoy.
This is Lisa reading from the Chamber of Commerce. HMRC invites hospitality industry to register for Eat Out to Help Out scheme. Restaurants and other establishments serving food on premises consumption can now sign up to a new government initiative aimed at protecting jobs in the hospitality industry and encouraging people to safely return to dining out. The Eat Out to Help Out registration page went live on the 13th of July on gov.uk. It allows businesses to join the scheme announced by the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Restaurants, bars, cafes and other establishments who use the scheme will offer a 50% reduction, up to a maximum of £10 per person, to all diners who eat and or drink throughout August. Customers do not need a voucher, as participating establishments will just remove the discount from their bill. Businesses simply reclaim the discounted amount from an online service supported by HMRC. Claims can be made on a weekly basis and are paid directly into bank accounts within 5 working days. The scheme is open to eligible establishments across the UK and can be used all day, every day, Monday to Wednesday, between the 3rd and the 31st of August 2020. Businesses will receive a window sticker to show that they are using the scheme and can download promotional items. The Chancellor of the Exchequer said, "Restaurants and other eligible establishments are now able to support pubs by joining up to a place to eat on the Eat Out to Help Out scheme. HMRC's quick and easy registration page will soon have you on your way to welcoming back your customers with discounted dining every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday throughout August, with a simple process to reclaim the discount back from the government each week." Chief Executive and First Permanent Secretary of HMR, Jim, said, "The hospitality industry is among the sectors worst affected by COVID-19. The Eat Out to Help Out scheme will deliver support to around 130,000 businesses, including restaurants, cafes and bars serving food and drink. It will help to protect 1.8 million jobs across the UK. Registering is easy and we urge businesses to sign up as early as they can so they are ready for the scheme when it opens on the 3rd of August. Businesses have made great efforts to open their sit-down services safely in line with social distancing guidelines so people can feel confident to dine out again. Businesses can find out more about the scheme once they register at gov.uk. So who can register? You can register for the Eat Out to Help Out scheme if your establishment sells food that is intended for consumption on the premises when purchased, provides its own dining area or shares a dining area with another establishment for eating meals, and has been registered as a food business with the local authority on or before the 7th of July.
This is Chris, reading an article from the government. New plans to ensure pubs, restaurants and cafes offer both smoking and non-smoking outdoor options. People using pubs, restaurants and cafes will soon have greater freedom to choose non-smoking outdoor areas. People using pubs, restaurants and cafes will soon have greater freedom to choose non-smoking outdoor areas following an amendment tabled today to legislation in Parliament. Under the Business and Planning Bill, the government had already set out a range of measures to help these vital businesses safely reopen and get staff back to work by making it quicker, easier and cheaper to operate outside. The government will not ban outdoor smoking. Since the existing ban was introduced, businesses have invested heavily in their outdoor areas, and banning outdoor smoking would lead to significant closures and job losses. However, today's amendment will ensure that customers are given more choice by ensuring premises offer separate seating for smokers and non-smokers outside. Laws already exist, making it illegal to smoke in enclosed areas, and business owners can already make their own non-smoking policies in place where food is served. This government has taken great strides in reducing the harms caused by smoking and has committed to do so in the Prevention Green Paper. Planning Minister, the Right Honourable Christopher Pincher MP, said, "We are supporting our pubs, cafes and restaurants to safely reopen and securing jobs by making it quicker, easier and cheaper to set up outdoor seating and stalls to serve food and drink, whilst protecting public health against the transmission of COVID. These changes will allow everyone to enjoy outdoor eating and drinking, whether they smoke or not, with appropriate provisions made for non-smokers and smokers. Kate Nichols, the Chief Executive of UK Hospitality, said, "The hospitality sector is beginning to reopen, but its recovery is still in the balance. That means we need dynamic, responsive support to ensure that businesses have the best possible chance to succeed. These measures will free up venues to operate more flexibly at a time when every bit of help will be vital to their future survival. We look forward to working with local authorities to ensure businesses can use these new permissions successfully." The changes in the amendment will strike the right balance between protecting public health and not imposing additional red tape on businesses at a time when they need as much support as possible. The government will not ban outdoor smoking in pubs, cafes or restaurants. Businesses can already make their own non-smoking policies for outside space without the need for regulations. This guidance will reinforce this point, making it clear that the licence holder has to make reasonable provision for smoke-free seating. It includes: number 1, clear no smoking signage displayed in designated areas. Number 2, no ashtrays or similar receptacles to be provided or permitted to be left on furniture where a smoke-free seating is identified. Number 3, licence holders should aim for a minimum 2-metre distance between non-smoking and smoking areas wherever possible. Today's announcement also builds on measures to help businesses get back on their feet, including: number 1, simpler licensing process for outdoor seating for pubs, restaurants and cafes. Number 2, councils encouraged to reduce red tape and create more outdoor markets. Number 3, part of comprehensive plan to revive high streets, support the hospitality industry and help get people back to work. And number 4, helping councils and businesses transition from crisis response and lockdown towards economic recovery.
Hello, this is Lisa, CEO for Site for Wight. Update from Site for Wight for the 31st of July. I cannot quite believe it is now August. July seems to have moved through very quickly, which in part is due to the lovely recent weather. This week, our work with the police in advising them on what new procedures should be put in place to allow severely sight-impaired people to identify a genuine police officer has come to its conclusion, with several of our key recommendations being taken to fruition. We were very pleased to be the sight loss charity chosen to advise on this. We have also been working with Hidden Disabilities in designing their new face shield to cater for people using overglasses and are looking forward to seeing their final end product. Our August newsletter is going to press next week. This has received a radical overhaul with new features on individual members and volunteers with stories that they have written themselves, telling of their life experiences. Further, we've added a feature on tips sent in by members and volunteers to offer simple, cost-effective ways of doing day-to-day tasks safely and more easily. We would very much like to have more stories and tips from members and volunteers for future issues. So if you would like to get in touch, we can publish yours too. Our shop Dress for Less continues to offer a full range of summer outfits for days in and out, and our eBay shop can always be found at www.ebay.com. ebay.co.uk/USR/site4Wight. Did you know that we run our own monthly lottery? It's just £2 per month and raises vital funds for the charity, whilst giving a monthly cash prize to one lucky winner. Could 22 or 33, which are both available, be your lucky number? If you'd like to join to have a chance of winning, please call 522205 or email fundraising@iwsb.org.uk. Remember, the more people who are in, the bigger the monthly prize. Congratulations to our June and July winners, Viv Booth and Sylvia Mould, and a warm welcome to Anna and Kath, our newest members. We are hoping that lockdown social distancing guidelines may have changed by September, and we hope that we may be able to start some of our usual activities again. But we are obviously only going to do this once we are certain it is safe to do so. We hope everyone is staying safe. Thank you.
Site for Wight would like to thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Talking News. We would also like to thank our volunteers for reading, and a particular thank you to the Island Echo, Isle of Wight County Press, Isle of Wight Observer, and On the Wight. A special thank you must go to Vectis Radio, who has helped us get vital information to our members.